shit up, TNT.
DJ's got that star shit on them.
Big bad habit. You don't miss, bro.
You're live.
Hey man, we here with you live. It's your boy AJ LeGree, man, and
It's your boy Trigger Trey.
DJ Daniels.
man, we got a big one here for you. I think y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna enjoy it. The topic of conversation is gonna be really great, and it's gonna be some great nuggets that y'all gonna take from this. And like I say, my man has something really special that's about to drop really, really soon. So I want to dive really deep into it.
Hold on.
Man.
Before we dive in, I want to let y'all know, man. This is Tampa legend. Florida legend BJ Daniels, man. That's a real deal fucking thing, dog.
I appreciate you, man. Don't even you ain't gotta do all that, but I appreciate it.
It's a big deal though.
It's deserved, though.
Appreciate it.
It's a big deal, man. So I think it's pretty inspiring, the hoops and the challenges that you overcame this far. And it's really, really to me, a big deal. From ball to a lot of people don't know you hoop, and like I say, just big time athlete all the way across the board. You played at the highest of highest levels, and now you tapping into a different field now. You're about to drop a book.
Yeah.
So Beyond the Red Zone. So I just I want you to give a bit of a overview of how that's going, what brought you to coming up with a book, man.
Yeah, man. It was a blessing. I mean, at the end of the day, I think about 3 years ago I wanted to write a book. And then I found myself not having the time to do that because I still needed to live life. I still was, trying to figure out what my next move was after football. But at the end of the day, I met, this guy named Adam Shaw, who is the owner of a company called Trigger Hub in Shaw Mind. And, I was hanging out downtown Tampa at the Addition, and I'm talking to this couple who's like really just recognizing me and trying to show some sort of appreciation for what I've accomplished on the football field at USF because they were alumni. And this guy walks up to me. He's about 6'3", this Caucasian guy, and he says, in his very British accent, he says, "Who are you?" I was like, "Who am I? What you mean by that? What do you want me to say?" The inner me was like, "I'm BJ," and he said, "No, who are you?" So I had to give him the spiel of me playing at USF, me being in the NFL and all that. And, I got a chance to build a relationship with him. And then he finally told me what he does. And he owns Trigger Hub as a publishing company about mental health. And once he found out who I was, he asked me if I would be an advocate for his company and speak about mental health and go on tours and talk about it. And then the deeper and deeper we got into conversation and having a relationship, he basically told me, he said, "Nah, you a little different. You don't have to just be an advocate. You can go out there and actually go out there and really inspire people, talk to people. We could do a book." And at the same time, he called me a hot commodity, because I'm African American male. And that in our community sometimes is something we hold on to and bury because we're not allowed to really just come out and say what's wrong, or I'm not feeling this right now, or I'm hurt, or I'm struggling with this, or this is the trauma I went through early on, and this is how I'm dealing with it now. We're just taught to be strong, keep pushing, that we have to be 2 times better, just all those things. And, when I got to talking to him, just in general conversation, I started to realize, like, man, some of the things I experienced is not normal, and how I've handled it also is not normal. But I've just figured out ways to just keep moving forward, and that's where everything started. That's how the book even came about. And right now with me, dealing with that company and signed with that company, man, I've been so thankful and blessed because 3 years ago I said I want to do a book and I never started it. And then now I meet this guy, by the grace of God in downtown Tampa, and it just hit like that, and here we are. And it's something I've been praying for, something I wanted to do for a long time. And I finally am in a position that it's gonna be coming out this year. So I'm excited, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. That's dope. That's really that's a grand thing that's happened for you.
Oh,
One of the
man.
questions I got is like, what's your motivation behind the book?
I think a lot of people, ask me questions like, "What did you do?" or "How do you keep going?" or like, "What did you do to get to where you are? How do you keep going?" And when I say keep going, you know, there are things I'm sharing in the book as well. But I've been cut. I've been released from teams. I've had relationships fail. I've been held at gunpoint. I've broken ankles and thought my career was over. I've had family members die of cancer. I had my little sister diagnosed with, like, there are things that happen. And I think people need to understand, beyond this superhero uniform that we put on as football players and athletes, we still human. We still going through things, and still after practice or during practice, we still dealing with this stuff mentally. You know what I mean? So, how do I really want people to understand, okay, yeah, Super Bowl, been to three of them, been in the hottest club in New York City with Drake after we won the Super Bowl. I mean, I've done these things, and that's what people see. I met Obama. But what people don't realize, I've also met Obama, but I've also washed the uniforms in the high school basement of the high school I went to, back in Tallahassee. And that happened 3 years after. Like, it's not like I did that, then I met Obama. It was Obama, and I did that. So, yeah, I just really want people to understand how, as a black man, just as a human being in general, as an athlete, like, you can experience all these things, but like, your inner core motivation, God has called you to do something.
Yeah.
And if you know what it is, cool. Dwell in that. If you don't, then you're still called to do other things. So keep going. Don't stop, no matter what happens. So
And piggybacking off that, what you said, back at your high school, a lot of football heads know you from. Yeah, but
man,
like give us a brief synopsis on where BJ come from.
So my dad would call me he would call me Money Man. Okay. So it's funny, I feel like I grew into this name, but I mean, at a young age, James Brown was like one of his favorite uh, artists.
Yeah.
So the song "Money, Money, Money, Money," that's it. That was his song. So he always called me Money Man as a kid. But what people don't know, I guess, is I grew up in a dorm room on Florida State's campus until I was 6, about 5 or 6, and my dad was a dorm director. So we lived on the first floor of this apartment style dorm room, which had 20 floors above us, and there were college students all above us. My dad had a small apartment on the first floor. It was 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, kitchen, and my mother. He was married at the time as well. My mother, Rhonda Daniels. My dad's name is Bruce. My BJ comes from him, Bruce Jr. But she was a nurse. She got a job at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital in Tallahassee. My dad was a dorm director. I grew up in that dorm room. I just remember, watching Charlie Ward and Derek Brooks and all those guys play, at the time, and I wanted to be just like them guys. So it was that's where everything kind of started for me. And the very first memory I can have of just me being a competitor or just trying to overcome something was my parents bought me a fire truck when I was a kid. And I always used to, push it around, all that kind of stuff. But every time I go outside, I see college students riding on skateboards past where I lived. So I wanted a skateboard. So I told my people, I'm like, man, next Christmas, I need a skateboard.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I want to do what they doing. And I always had aspirations of doing something bigger. My parents told me no. So for me, I went to the top of the hill. There was a small hill in front of our dorm room where we lived. And I stood on top of the skateboard. I put 2 feet on top of the skateboard and went down the hill. I was a success. No matter what someone else told me, I still did it anyway.
Absolutely.
Then it came to the point where I wanted to go faster. and I went up higher up the hill, and it got to a point where, I pushed myself and went down that hill over and over just to be like what I saw. And at one point, I bust my face wide open, and then my parents got me a skateboard. So BJ from a young age came from humble beginnings with dreams of being Charlie Ward, Derek Brooks, wanting a skateboard, just seeing and knowing that there was something else out there I still wanted to accomplish or achieve, and that's kind of where everything started for me.
Yeah, man, 100%. I'm a big believer in speaking things in existence,
Mhm.
and I do believe that your father did that with you,
Yeah.
and calling you money man. You know
Yeah.
that is 100%. A real thing.
Yeah.
Speaking things into existence, and he breathed that over you,
Yeah.
and like everything came true. So that's big shout out to Pops, man.
Yeah.
For doing that.
Yeah.
I know. Before we I just wanted to ask one more question. Not to steer too far away, away from the book. Before we leave that topic alone. What is when I read that book, what is a message that what is something that you want the reader to take away from your book?
Yeah.
Once they read it.
Yeah. I think the biggest message is just one, being vulnerable enough to be real with yourself, because I think a lot of the times, even now, with this book, I think during the process of the book, I cried about something that I experienced 10 years ago, and I think I just continue to move through life without dealing with that. You know what I mean? And I want people to be able to be vulnerable enough to address those issues, those things that they face, to also understand they're not by themselves, they're not alone in the things that they experience. Um, I want to be vulnerable enough to where the reader could actually see themselves as me and relate to some of the issues and things I've experienced. And that's the biggest goal at the end of the day. Because it's interesting, when you see successful people in whatever realm they're in, and you deem yourself to wanting to be like that, whether it's money, Jeff Bezos, or you want to own Apple, whatever, but Bill Gates, but you always don't know what their journey was and their process, to get to that point. And I just want people to that love and respect or have followed my career in any capacity, to kind of be like, okay, I didn't know that. Like, I respect him because he was a good football player, or he kept going. I know he's overcome some stuff. I know he's been cut before. I know those things, but how did I do that after that or during that is what I kind of want people to see, to hear, and to take with them, and then pass it along. Because at the end of the day, I would tell you this, to my grave. As a child, my dream was to go to the NFL. What people don't understand is not to go to the NFL; it's to play in the NFL. I had the opportunity to be behind some great quarterbacks: Russell Wilson, Colin Kaepernick, Matt Ryan. I played, with the Giants. I was there with Eli, but that wasn't my goal. But what I didn't understand was that the whole scheme and plan of everything was to have those. God gave me those experiences to build on that, to give me tools and pieces and puzzle pieces. Take those and use it for somebody else. See, now that means I'm more working into my calling versus what I want. So I'm taking them things and using it for somebody else. That's what this book is going to be about. All the experiences that I've been through, all the pieces I've been broken, the places, the cities, the towns, the countries. I even play football in the CFL. You know what I mean? Like, use that for where I am now, where your feet are. So not to have a gold jacket and retire when I want to. And because one thing I can definitely say, and I say this all the time, the current quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks is Geno Smith, excuse me. A lot of respect for him. But here's my truth. When I played with Russell, he was a starting quarterback. Here's my truth, though. Nothing against them guys. Today, I'm 34. I work out every day. I can still go do what they're doing. 100%. I can throw a football 100 yards if I have to. But they can't do what I'm doing. Go in the hallways of USF and tell these kids, that's where I broke up with my girlfriend. That's where I failed my test. This is the street that I was held, at gunpoint behind Raymond James Stadium. I can motivate and tell these kids how to navigate life in a whole completely different capacity rather than taking the 3-step drop, how to read cover two, knowing the difference, looking at the corner, is it man, is he gonna press, is he gonna back, like all that stuff is you got 1,000 people that can do that. So
That's crazy, man. That's awesome. Like the way you relate in football back to real life kind of like leads me to my next question.
yeah.
When it comes to growth, what's the biggest difference between BJ Daniels, the athlete, and BJ Daniels, the person?
Man, yeah, that's a great question. I really do feel like professionally, I've reached a plateau to where I can't dunk anymore. So my height,
I don't think none of us. I mean, you probably can. I can't. It's over with.
Man,
I'm gonna put it in the hoop. Still to this day.
Man, so these explosiveness, athletic skills are decreasing. But my level of maturity and life experiences are continuing to grow, man. It's funny we doing this today, but I'm still in something right now. I'm still going through something right now. And I think that's part of the process.
Yeah.
It's part of the process. So, 34 years old, single, no kids. I still want to accomplish those things, but I also feel like part of my journey will require certain things of me, relationship wise, or growth wise, or business wise. When I say relationship, I'm talking about women. I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about my job. Like there's a requirement of me still that needs to be fulfilled in my own growth to get to a level that I want to be, because I've reached a plateau in athletics.
Yeah.
So now it's just what's next.
That's a major salute. Not to cut you off, but that's a major salute. All the accolades, being who you are, people know who you are, especially in the Bay Area. No kids, if to aspired and done everything that you have done, that's big time. That's a major salute, and yeah, man, that's big kudos to you.
So,
appreciate it.
So, like, since you brought it relationship wise, we are going to ask the question: what's your relationship status?
We can cut the
right
podcast. We can cut the podcast. Man,
what's your status right now?
Single. And I said because I was just hesitating, but it's so crystal clear and clean. Single, and I think this is a good time for me to be that. I've never said that before because I've always wanted to be around people, help people, be in a relationship. That's who naturally I am. A caregiver, taker, protector, provider, and all that. But I do remember listening to certain preachers, and everybody's not built for the journey, and there are seasons for everything, and you have to take. You're at fault if you don't take stuff with you, like you don't learn from each situation. But I do know that the same way you prepare your body to play sports, you got to protect your heart, protect it and train it.
Yeah,
and that's something I'm doing right now. My mind, body, spirit, from in and out is being trained. I'm continuing to work at it. I'm waking up every day with another obstacle and trying to figure that out and learn from it and grow from it. So, when the time comes for the relationship Super Bowl, I'm gonna win that one. I'm gonna definitely win that one.
that kind of leads me to my next question for you. With the relationship challenges and playing ball at the high level that you played at, like I said, most people know who you are, and like I said, you play ball at an extremely high level and set quite a few records at USA. And being that that's so, did you feel or felt as though relationships with said females or whoever was a challenge navigating, or was it anything that was challenging for you while playing ball?
Oh yeah. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, I was immaturely at the point where if I had a bad football day, then I'm gonna take that home. You know, that affects my mood.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how I treat the person that I'm going home to, but it affected my mood, and that will pour over onto them. You know, I open that door and walk in the house, they excited to see me because they ain't seen me all day. But I'm still thinking about the interception I just threw at practice to Richard Sherman, who's an all-pro corner. You know?
Yeah, big time.
But yet and still, I'm at practice set up to fail because, you know, Russell's a starter, I'm the backup. So I'm going against the starting defense. Okay, so I got the Legion of Boom in front of me. Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, Cliff Averill. I mean, Michael Bennett.
Oh God.
You know, big shout out to Big Red. Like, I'm going against these guys, you know, that, you know, they supposed to look good in practice.
That's scary.
You know what I'm saying? So I already got an uphill battle.
Well, gonna look good.
For sure. Absolutely. I ain't gonna say who, but I done set some receivers up a little bit. Man, but
it happens to the best though. It happens to the best, and you've been around the game a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
Like I said, I came, behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I played in the same stadium and everything that you did. But it's always great company being in your presence, man. So, other things that, it leads me to ask, man, what was your biggest why, when you step on the field to do what you do?
Yeah, it changed for me over time. When my first ever start, everybody talks about that. So that was 2009. Matt Grothy got hurt the game before we played Florida State. So my first ever game starting as a freshman, my dream came true. I'm playing in that same stadium that I grew up across the street from, but it wasn't for the team I thought I would play for. It's for the USF. So we played against Florida State in 2009, and I took that field very humble, very thankful for the opportunity. Wanting to make the most of the opportunity, because it was my first one. And I always, patted my chest twice and pointed to the sky. I was always just remembering, the people that had sacrificed for me to be here. People that were still living and people that had passed and gone on. And, throughout years, for me, my mentality kind of went like this as far as why am I doing what I'm doing? And it changed. And every time I diverted from that, I talk to kids all the time and I talk about the ceiling can save you. So we talk about this 20, 30 story building in the middle of downtown New York, and you want to make it to the top. That's what success would be, whatever that is to you. And I've always gotten to multiple floors, but then, I have a way of hitting my head on the ceiling where I get too big for the room, too arrogant, cocky, conceited, not treating people right, and I hit my head on the ceiling. Now, sometimes that'll knock you back on that same floor. It'll knock you down back to the first floor. And I've experienced this through life when I've gotten beside myself. So Florida State took me up this elevator. Okay, after Florida State, I mean, we beat the hometown team that didn't want me. We beat Bobby Bowden. We beat Florida State, Goliath, little old South Florida. Okay, well, feel good about that. A couple months later, you're held down at gunpoint. Puts things in perspective for me. Change is why I'm touching that field. You know what I mean? So it's going like this, very humble to here and back and forth. And my why changed again, in the NFL. Once I got a good 3-4 years involved in that, I wanted to be everything that what an NFL player consists of, everything that it included. But then, at the same time, my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer. So was my little sister. So it's like, okay, well, there are things I have to do for my family now. It ain't about the cars, the money, the jewelry, and all that. Like, okay, now I need to go to work so I can provide for them so they can get their treatment. Right. Like that switched. So there are things throughout. My why has been so different and it's changed. But I'm now looking back on it like, my why always was pulling it all together was for other people. It always was. I just didn't always move or operate in that energy. And every time I deviated from that is when things didn't go right. So
Yeah, like I ain't trying to get like too deep into the family thing when it comes to cancer. Like my family struggles from cancer. I just want to see like what was your first perception and like your like what you went through with like knowing like your family members are going through the cancer process.
Yeah, man. So let me say, okay, so grandmother had cancer, right?
Yeah.
I kind of thought that's what older people go through.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's what I thought. Okay. But you would expect that stereotypically from an older person.
Oh, same thing.
Cool. So rewind. I also was a kid that when I was young, I would cry at the age of like 9 or 10 if anybody went to the hospital because I did not think they was coming back out. I wouldn't care if you was getting a tetanus shot. Like I'm balling. I'm balling. Like I ain't gonna never see you again. Like I don't know if
we didn't go to the doctor. Hey, we did not go to the doctor for nothing.
Black folks don't like
Tylenol, Robitussin, Claritin, Zyrtec, yeah, fix everything.
I don't like the hospital. Boy.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna go.
Like I'm balling. Like, and then and then the crazy part was when I found out about my grandmother, what changed for me was like, when I talked about my why, my grandparents needed help, with copay. Now, when we say copay, we talking about we're just paying to take a visit so they can tell you what's wrong with you, not to fix you. Not to fix you. So, like, I'm, like, stressed about even that part for them that I'm having to provide for, And then from that, same year, my little sister, who's 22 years old, gets diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. So, when do I find this out about my little sister? Man, listen, I was a free agent with no team. I was in Chicago. My mama called me around 7:30 in the morning. I had a 9 o'clock workout. She called me and told me this before my workout. So, I could have folded. I could have laid in the locker room and told the coaches, I can't work out for y'all. I can't try out for y'all. I don't want to be a Chicago Bear. None of that. Man, listen, the best workout I've ever had in my entire life was in Chicago because that was part of fulfilling the purpose that I've been telling y'all about doing something for somebody else, not yourself. When I was doing that for her, man, listen, I played quarterback, not receiver. They had me running routes, and I promise you, I was Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, Julian Edelman. I was whoever you wanted me to be, and I was doing it. I was doing it, and I made the team. And making that team put me in a position to help. And a year later, there's a hospital in Tallahassee. My little sister, they do this all over the country, but she got a chance with my mother. My mother's a nurse in Tallahassee, so she helped us with the whole process of saying what's really happening and going on. And love her to death, but my little sister had the opportunity to ring that bell.
Awesome.
To say, okay, it's over with. No more treatment.
Awesome.
Good.
Thank God.
And that, lost my grandmother that year. But, at the end of the day, I do feel like I had my why. There was a purpose to it. I had an impact. And I think that was extremely, an extreme blessing for me to be able to be in that position. So, and that's part of the book too.
Right.
So that's what's really cool about it because, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
But you shared that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter about the helmets in front of me or behind me. It's something that I want people to pick up and understand. Okay, you ain't by yourself.
Yeah,
you're not by yourself.
And it's crazy. Well, I won't say it's crazy, but I think it's pretty interesting that if you step back and look at things from different angles, a lot of people share somewhat sort of similar paths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, I guess, what sort of defines us as people and as a person that you are and the man you become is how you've chosen to react to those circumstances and battles that you have been put in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I think that's big time, man.
Now, I gotta say this though, because I feel like people would really want to know this. I probably would have hypothetically, did something crazy, jumped off that bridge, and did something just completely out of character a long time ago. But I've been thankful and blessed enough to still have two parents that are married together. I know what is. I see them every day work at it. They choose each other every day. I got two little sisters. I'm the only boy. I'm the firstborn, so there's a responsibility I feel like I have. But then there's also, people I know care about me and love and support me on the other side of that. So all of them would tell you I'm crazy. Every last one of them would tell you I'm crazy.
Hey,
I'm daddy number 2. Trust me.
You gotta be.
You gotta be.
My name is BJ Daniels, aka Daddy number 2, and I don't play no games. But that support system has helped me make decisions and get through on so many different levels. A praying grandmother was another example of somebody who helped me get through. So I definitely have been blessed to have people around me. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just, yeah. It wasn't just me. I can tell you that.
No, that's awesome, man. That's crazy. That's really, really like dope that what you went through as far as like how you overcame everything. Like I don't know if you noticed, but me and AJ, we're both the only boys.
Okay. Yeah.
So we feel that like me and him talk about all the time, just one on one. Like we feel that same responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like now we hearing you say that, I'm daddy number 2. Like we ain't kind of like, unfortunately, like we inherited that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like when our dads can't or unable to or whatever the situation is, we do feel like it's our job to step up and we gotta take that throne. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
And that's really like awesome to hear you say the way like you BJ Daniels Senior at times when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, come on now.
Hey, yeah. Kudos to you for that, for real.
Appreciate it.
So that's big time, man. And like I said, it's been a question, and not to stay away from kind of like where we were.
Yeah.
And when you were kind of talking about the quarterback situation and the guys that you played with and behind and all that good stuff. And I look at today's game and how it's played. Do you ever think that?
Don't make me mad. What you finna say? You over here trying to tiptoe around something. What you got?
Do you ever think that you were ahead of your time? And and you maybe it could have been you and a few other quarterbacks. Do you think you were ahead of your time?
I'm gonna just say this. I had a kid ask me the other day, "Oh, were you like Lamar?" I said, "Was I like Lamar?" Lamar who? Was I like Lamar? And I love Lamar. I absolutely love watching him. I want the Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, kid, you just don't know.
You don't know.
You just don't know. Because it's funny how life works. I modeled my game. I wore number 7 because of Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Michael Vick from Virginia Tech. It was the first time I ever saw him. He played against Florida State and Peter Ward in the national championship.
Shout out to P-Dub, man. Shout out to P-Dub.
Man, Peter, I think he cute, by the way. I know P-Dub. Yeah, he think he's smooth.
Shout out to P-Dub, man.
He think he old fake Kappa, man.
Hey, Big Cub play with old Dub, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ron Dukes, man.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And Shine Time Pope.
But that's who I modeled my game after. That's the highlight tapes I watched in high school. Like Michael Vick was the guy. He was a black mobile quarterback who played how he wanted to play. He didn't fit the mold in any way. He wasn't tall enough, but he did everything he was supposed to do. Strong arm, athletic, quick, competitive. And he gave Florida State everything he could, and ever since then, number 7 been my number. That's so generationally, the young kid didn't get it. He thought I was dissing Lamar, and I wasn't doing that at all. It's just, this game has changed. So when you talk about me being ahead of my time, absolutely. I missed on NIL.
Well, I'm sad about it. Hey.
Man,
That'd be crazy.
God, I want to back pay or something. Sheesh. Video games and all.
Oh man, oh yeah.
You know, but yeah, you know, the game has changed, and I'm so happy and proud of what the African American quarterback looks like right now, and how consistent it is, and how relevant it is, because it wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
Like, it may sound taboo in 10 years when these guys are potentially future Hall of Famers, but I have to say, yeah, I wasn't tall enough. Or I had to go through the fact that I was a black quarterback, and they didn't know if I could be the face of the program.
Yeah.
You know, which dates back to, if we really want to get into it, slavery.
Yeah.
If we go into, we don't want you to read, we don't want you to write.
Yeah.
We don't want them things. You can you speak well? You know, so then we play the position. Okay, well, can you lead an organization? Can you communicate with the rest of the team? Can you relate with everybody on the team? Can you be the face of the program? Can you know, those things is still relevant.
Yeah,
you know, but it's becoming more accepted, and I love it. I love it. I was on one of the first few teams that had 5 black quarterbacks at one time. Terrell Pryor, Mr. Keith Price that played for Washington, UW, myself, Travaris Jackson that played at Alabama A&M and also played for Minnesota Vikings, and Russell Wilson. All 5 of us in training camp competing against each other all summer.
That's some heat. That's some heat.
All summer.
So I gotta ask, who was the fastest?
I ain't gonna lie, Terrell might say he is. He tall. He got a long stride. Boy, he got a stride on him.
That boy long.
He got a stride on him. He definitely got. I get that to him.
All right.
I definitely get that to him for sure.
That boy long.
And he got the longest quarterback rush in NFL history still. So 99 yards or 90 plus when he was with Oakland. So yeah,
That's crazy, man. Like, he ain't make no excuse saying it was the 40 time is me. He ain't do a yard market. He gave it to him. That's crazy.
He just.
Damn.
You can have that.
Yeah, you had okay.
Now I'm quick and explosive. Them first 10, you ain't gonna mess with me.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
You ain't gonna do that.
BJ ain't one of them. Like, he mentioned P. Dub. He mentioned P. Ward.
Yeah.
But BJ stole somebody's book. BJ a dead leg, man.
Yeah. I shake the room.
Hey, BJ a dead leg. Go pull up the highlights. That boy a dead leg or something. No, don't be mistaken.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Man, that's awesome, man.
That's
like,
right.
so since we on the NFL topic, which organization was your favorite one?
I mean, I always got to give a shout out to San Francisco, the 49ers, for drafting me, taking that opportunity. But I definitely have to go with Seattle. That time, you know, being in Seattle was just amazing because we were the first of all, the Seahawks are an expansion team. So they weren't even originally part of the NFL, and to win a Super Bowl with them. And I tell people this all the time. This is how you compare it. So in Florida, you got Jacksonville, Miami, and Tampa. Okay? Take all of them and make only one NFL team in the entire state. That's the type of support you're going to get in the state of Washington. Wow. So you got people driving, hypothetically, from Miami and Pensacola just to meet in Tampa to support one team. So it doesn't matter if you 1 through 53, the entire state knows who you are. And you get benefits and perks like you that guy anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I can only tell you, like, man, the love I got in the state of Seattle, I mean, was incredible. Incredible. I didn't own a car for 4 years. I did not physically own a vehicle for 4 years.
Big time.
Guess what I did for that vehicle? And I could trade it in anytime I wanted. You want 2 tickets to the game? I can go to any dealership in the state of Washington. Actually, as a matter of fact, in Bellevue. Bellevue is the richest city in Washington. Okay, so the football facility is in Renton. The stadium is in Seattle. And we live next to Bellevue. Bellevue's the richest city. You see Lambos, Bentleys, all that kind of stuff riding around dirty. I'm talking about, like, they don't care. This is a regular, everyday vehicle. All right. I go to a dealership, give them 2 tickets to a game, and I get a new vehicle for the week or a month. You talking about a sold-out place that loves their football so much where there's a waiting list just to get season tickets where People would do anything to meet a Seahawks player. I didn't go to restaurants to pay for anything.
Oh, wow.
I did not go to restaurant. If I went to a restaurant, it was an appearance. What if I go in? Like they would pay you to come in.
Talk about the 12th man.
Oh my God, that's support.
Big 12, man.
And then you win the Super Bowl. They first and they're only. And then you got one of the most highlighted teams in Seattle, which I would call a team full of misfits. Every last one of us is undersized, possibly got in trouble before, did this, did that, was on the third leg of their career. And we all came together and did something the city's never had before. That was a Seattle by far. By far.
I get that. And just to dance around it a little bit. I know we kind of touched on it a little bit. And away from the game of football and all that good stuff and all the good times that we typically have.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke on a little bit about the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
And the challenges that you faced by playing with the challenges that, we all in this space have faced and overcome with the mental health aspect as being a professional athlete, collegiate athlete, and those hoops and challenges. The mental aspect, can you like piggyback and tell us, your mental state at those times and, your routine of how you navigated through all those hoops and stuff like that, those hurdles.
Yeah, it was different every time. I'm not gonna say I have this magic potion or process with everything that I'm facing, because it all hits me differently. So it always was. I can tell you the foundation always was my faith and my religion. Then it also trickled down to my family and that support that I got from them. And then at the end of the day, like for me, I never wanted to be the guy that went back home. Like I never wanted to go back to Tallahassee.
Yeah.
I love Tallahassee to death. That's where I'm from and I'm proud of it. But I never wanted to be the guy where it was somebody gives me an applause and they say, "Hey man, good job, man. Seahawks, Super Bowl. I remember you played for USF."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But what you doing now?
Correct.
Like, what you doing now?
Yeah.
Because what I see is you, and you're right here with me. What you doing now?
Yeah.
I never wanted to answer that question for anybody. I never wanted to come back home and it just be, okay, man, you made it a little further than the rest of us.
Yeah.
But then guess what? You still ended up back where we all are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that for anybody that lives in my hometown. I just always wanted to go out and go do something else. My mother loved her garden in the backyard. I never wanted to go out there with her and help her. Never.
That's crazy. And I ain't gonna lie, that's pretty big because on my dad's side and my mom's side, there's acres beyond acres of land.
Hundreds.
My dad's side, there's like 100+ acres of land with my uncle, he farms and take care of, and my grandpa, him and his brothers, they done that and beyond. And I'm pretty sure on trade.
Man, it's the same thing you just said, bro. We don't want to go back home and be like, "Oh, you cool? What you doing now?"
Yeah,
I'm back I'm back in Tallahassee, y'all. I'm back in Fort White.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we want.
Nah. And it's funny because I was talking to one of my homeboys the other day. I'm like, I be wanting to flip that script so bad, but I'm not that in that mindset to be arrogant. But my question, what you doing? What you been doing? Man, where you been at?
Oh my God. Listen, man, hey, if you from the Fort White area, everybody know the B&B. Somebody asked me, what you been doing? How football? I'm like, I hung that up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then like the world fell apart.
I'm like,
because you ain't playing no more.
Bro, what?
Yeah, man. It's a real thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Real thing.
I know we touched on it, tapped on it a little earlier about the relationships. I know Trey had hit on it a little bit, but
look at him, he tiptoeing again.
My boy single.
He tiptoeing again.
My boy single.
Hey, my dog single, so yeah, and I throw icebreakers in here
Don't advertise that, man.
Man.
Quality over
He don't want to ask the
quality.
question. I'm going to ask it.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You know?
BJ, name your non-negotiables when it comes to women.
Non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. I ain't
Man.
having it.
It can go from she's a 10, ugly feet. It can go from a 6 to a pretty feet. What's the non-negotiables, dog?
I mean, if it's painted like that, it's gonna be the 10 because I'm not concerned with the feet. I'm not concerned.
Come on, man.
Things can be. We can go get your feet done.
Hey.
I get that.
We can,
I feel that.
soak bath. We can do all those things.
You're right. We can, you know,
but
twice
you
a
can't.
week.
You can't soak certain things.
I agree.
That man got that boy AJ got a foot fetish or something.
Oh my God.
I mean, you know, we either sucking toes, we not.
Nah.
Hey, so you're not a toe guy. You're not a feet guy.
I'm not a foot person. No,
Hey.
I'm not a foot person.
Understandable.
But I will say this. I don't know if this is non-negotiable or not, but I have really genuinely had to be with somebody who can adjust because I've had to adjust so much. And I've always thought, like, former athletes, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
Being able to adjust, when things don't go your way, when things go left, having to make a mistake and relearn that mistake. Because I'll be honest, it ain't like the first ever coach I ever met said, don't throw an interception. I ain't never did it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, there are certain things that I will not ever repeat. And that's in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But just being able to adjust, man. My life has gone on so many different paths. I've lived in so many different cities. I'm still learning and growing myself.
Yeah.
I have in the last 4 or 5 years, man, I was living in Seattle playing in the XFL, to a high school head coach in Tallahassee. So from Seattle to Tallahassee to coaching at USF to now raising money for South Florida. And to now take this new adventure as, this book and mental health. And this is my first ever podcast, So like being able to adjust and ride with me and support me. My cheerleader needs to be able to adjust. My cheerleader don't need to be one track minded. This is where because things could change. Now at the same time, when I played football in the NFL, it was where I'm at, you got to follow.
Yeah.
I ain't finna drop the Seahawks for you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But at this point, it ain't necessarily me dropping something. I now can coincide with somebody in that. It ain't football or you. It should have always been football and. Yeah. And then now where I am now, it's okay, this is my new venture. I'm putting that hand out. Would you like to join? Yeah. Not this or that. No. You gotta adjust like I have to adjust.
So, like they say, man, if you not getting better, you're getting worse. If you're getting worse, you ain't gonna survive.
At all.
So, we got a comment question on this podcast, or just between friends. Are you a 50-50 guy?
But now we gonna tell everybody.
Are you a 50-50 guy?
What does that mean?
I mean, are you splitting stuff with your girl, or are you paying all the bills?
Ooh.
Are we splitting?
I know what
50-50,
I know what
you
trigger
paying
is.
anything?
I know what trigger is.
Okay, time out. Here, there are levels to this.
Oh, yes, sir.
You said girl. What does that mean? Are we married? Are we dating?
That's the girl that's the young lady or a woman that you are coexisting with.
So we living together, not married.
I like how you
said
frame
coexistence.
that.
I'm gonna put him in a corner.
Hey,
I like how you frame that.
Yeah,
I like how you frame
him with a rope though. I'm Muhammad Ali coming.
Hey,
come on, talk to me.
I'm forming with it.
So what level are we on
I'm forming with it.
This young individual?
Y'all on social media together.
What?
Y'all on social media together. Y'all public.
Y'all want to know.
Oh, like we together and posting.
Together and posting.
So it's serious. Not married or engaged, but it's serious.
But see,
at least got a drawer in your house.
Okay. And she lives with me.
No, y'all just serious. She gotta live with you. She might have her own spot.
So what's 50-50 though? If she got her own spot.
Y'all go to dinner.
We splitting the bill, or am I
I'll be honest with you. I think I'm 1,000 to 1 right now. I'm batting 1,000 to 1. So what I mean by that is, I'll let you pay for the entire dinner, but you might only get the opportunity once. For me, I don't ever want, and maybe it's this thing I have within me. Like, I won't let somebody just take care of me for real.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to like allow that because I wasn't bred like that. I wasn't raised like that.
100%, I agree.
You know, so like I get mad almost if we at the grocery store and you know, you tell the cashier, let's split it. Because I didn't have that happen before. Where the young lady's in front of me a little further and I'm taking out the groceries and she already at the front and I ain't even done doing it. And she whispered to the guy, hey, we want to split this 50-50. And I walk up, what you said?
Bring that back.
So I don't think I'm a 50-50 guy. I just think I really, want to take care of it all.
All right. Man, put your hands down, man.
But I will tell you this.
Yeah.
Never again. Hold on. Wait, let me finish. Now, y'all laughing too fast. Never again, though. Well, I've done it. I've had this in my, long past, though. But I respect you so much more if you was even just willing.
Yeah.
Let's say you didn't have it.
Yeah.
You could pretend. I would appreciate the acknowledgement or the attempt.
The gesture. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, truth be told, I also look at it like this. Okay, let's say you wanted to split the groceries in half, and I don't want you to do it, but I'll let you do it. Okay, well, I'm not a guy that adds up and tallies and counts, but I'm still 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
If we really want to, talk about numbers.
Yeah.
But I never want that type of relationship anyway, man. I really want something where, a woman does something for me that I don't even know.
Yeah. Kind of piggybacking off that. You ever had a female do something to you, or a female that made you like, damn, I think I need to speak to somebody. Like, I need some therapy. You ever had a female do you like that?
You got Sam?
Shit, I have. I need therapy now.
Ooh-wee. I'll just say this. I've experienced some things that would not sound normal. And I'm able to handle things based off what life has kind of dealt me, or sports, or what I've been taught to just keep pushing and move forward. And the things that are taboo in life about the potential or possible physicality of a woman, that's real.
Yeah.
I never thought I would experience it before, but I've experienced a lot. And, it's put me in a position to raise my level of standards and also to appreciate people who know how to handle themselves, I guess. Because I think at the end of the day, you ain't never fighting people.
Yeah.
You always fighting the devil. And the truth of that for me is this, like, you could offend me and do something right now, right? But then what type of maturity do I have? Am I gonna go against you, or I'm gonna go against the spirit that's in you?
Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, and I'll just be honest about my own vulnerabilities in life, the devil could never win with me when it comes to women, alcohol, drugs, those type of things. But he knows that there is something that he can use
weaknesses
to get at me.
Yeah.
You know that. So, other people have different things, but the devil knows what that is. So for me, yes, to answer your question, and I can't never get tricked out of my position to go somewhere thinking I'm fighting a person.
Yeah.
You got that. You win. You win temporarily. I'm going to win in the long run.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100% because I'm a big believer in, strong guys, strong men, we gonna persevere no matter
Absolutely.
what. what's thrown our way, we gonna navigate. We gonna do what we got to do, and we gonna make the necessary moves. And
For sure.
I respect that highly, brother. I appreciate that. Them big nuggets that y'all, hey, them big nuggets, y'all gotta pay attention to.
Man.
So like I say, it kind of leads me to my next question is, like, in times like those as such, is there anybody that you felt like, you can kind of, bounce ideas off of or talk to in times like those?
Yeah, man, I've just been blessed, even though I'm the only brother, excuse me. I have two sides and two different perspectives. So trust me, my dad follows suit when it comes to his women, which is my two little sisters and mom. So technically, I got a household that views me without some sort of objective. So if I want to talk to the male, my father, he'll tell me what he think. But then I also got 3 women who can soften that blow and whatever. And they always give me their perspective, and my dad gives me his perspective. And I think those things, that combination has really helped me always kind of steer in the right direction. Whether I go that path or not, that's on me. But they've always, been able to help me with that.
So, hey, man, it's been a pleasure. And like I say, you follow him, you know him, especially in this Bay Area.
Hold on, man.
All
We
the
can't
way
end
out.
like that. We got one more time. Like, look, man. We got Drake coming soon to Tampa Bay.
Come on now.
We got Drake coming to the Bay. Answer this question, man. We talk all the time about it. What's up? Drake or Future? Who you choosing?
Man, when I was in my toxic phase, it was Future. Hey, man, I know every word. Trust me.
Hey, got it out the field. Russ.
He said win, though. He said win. He said win.
Now, I'll tell you this now. I Drake is my favorite artist.
Ooh.
But I was definitely playing Future in the locker room in Seattle. I ain't gonna lie about that
Can't
one.
go against.
And that might not have been a good look for me.
It's all right. He said Drake the favorite.
Hey, it's okay.
That might not have been a good look for me.
It's okay.
6 God, we up, man.
Hey, it's okay. Got it out the field. Hey, and like I say, man, again, it's been a pleasure, BJ.
Yes, man.
You already knowing, and like many more to come, and we out.